Hey, this is Andrew Brown, and let's take a look at Amazon Neptune. So it is a graph database with other offerings around it. So it used to just be the database, but now they've broken it up into three things. We have the database, analytics, and ML. And so let's just talk about those three, and then we'll just quickly talk about the features of the Amazon Neptune database. So the database is a highly available, durable graph database service, and you can utilize Gremlin, SparkQL, and OpenCipher as a way to interact with that database. We'll talk about those three here in separate slides here. Then we have Amazon Neptune Analytics, which provides capabilities to run large-scale graph analytics algorithms effectively directly on your operational graph data set. The idea here is that you'll load a graph into Neptune Analytics from data from an S3 bucket or from a Neptune database, and it integrates with Neptune Workbench. It includes algorithms like PageRank, shortest path, community detection, for your graph database. It leverages the Apache Spark cluster to perform complex analytics on the graph data. I've personally never used this service as of yet, but it is something that you can utilize with Amazon Neptune. Then you have Amazon Neptune ML. This uses graph neural networks and machine learning techniques to build graphs. And this is great when you need to make accurate predictions using GraphQL. There's a algorithm called XGBoost, and that is one way of making predictions. But again, if you are working with different types of data structures, then this graph database is going to work a lot better for that. So this is powered by the Deep Graph Library, the DGL, which is an open source library. Also, Neptune ML apparently works with LangChain if you're doing Gen AI kind of stuff. Let's quickly just talk about the features of Amazon Neptune database. It's not too complicated, so there's not much to talk about. So this is just going to be a bunch of text. So the first thing is that there are two types you can launch up: provisioned and serverless. And at this point, you have seen enough AWS services where they have one where you manage an instance, and the other one is serverless. Quotations. I'm making air quotations here because there is still an instance underneath, but it doesn't scale down to 0. So the idea is that instead of having to pick an instance type, you just say, I want to choose my capacity units. They call them Neptune capacity units in this case for a range. Neptune supports multi-AZ deployment. It has two storage configurations options. So IO optimize or standard. Standard is going to be cheaper. IO optimize is going to be more efficient for IO. You can create a Jupyter notebook with Amazon SageMaker Notebook that includes magic extensions to easily work with your Neptune database. And it really does make things super easy. There's also the Neptune bulk loader that can be used to import large amounts of data. AWS has multiple built-in or third-party options for visualizing your graph database. And so there are quite a few options. When I was doing the lab, for whatever reason, I just kind of like blanked out and forgot that using Gremlin, you could visualize the graph. I have used Gremlin quite a bit in the past, but it's been a year or so. But apparently there are a lot of visualization options. One thing that I found that was hard to figure out was that you have the option to launch a Jupyter Notebook, which is launched in SageMaker, but there is that Amazon Neptune Workbench, and it described it as Jupyter Notebook as well. So I don't know if it's the same feature or if there's separate ones, or you're supposed to use the one in SageMaker now, but I could not find the Workbench to save my life. I don't think it really matters that much, but I just want to tell you that I noticed that, okay?